Hi everyone, this is part 2 on how to put your electric fuel pump on. It's me, Greg, and I'm going to walk you through what I've done so far. If you remember, the vacuum pump was located here. I've taken off the vacuum hose and I've now capped it with the caps that I told you about. I've cut the line right at the end of that old filter, and the new filter is in place with the flow going towards the carburetor. I've used a U-bolt to put my pump in place, in that tape that I told you to have is so I can protect my finish. Now this is not secure yet, and I have not cut the gas line to splice them in. The only thing I've done is put the U-bolt in place, and I put the filter, I don't know if you can see the filter way down there. Let's see here. Anyways, the filter's on this side going towards the gas tank, that inline filter that came with, because the flow is going this way. It's going up to your carburetor. So make sure the filter is towards the gas tank, and the other end, the arrow is pointing towards your carburetor. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll pull that hose back there later and I'll measure it where I want to cut, because it's a rather tight bend from the bottom of the gas tank to that fuel pump. So I want to cut that hose, hook it to the fuel pump, then move it around to the right position so I don't have any kinks in it. Once that's done, then I'll go ahead and hook up the other end, and that'll be almost done. Now on that fuel filter, there's 2 wires. One is a ground wire and one is the hot wire. It's labeled hot wire, so the ground wire you may have to extend to go to your negative on your battery. Your other hot wire, what you're going to do is that's going to hook to your switch. As you can see, the switch I got, I mounted up here. So now when I want to turn it on, I flip it up like that, and I actually have to flip it. If I want to turn it off, I shut it. That way I know when it's on or off. That's a 1/2 inch hole for that switch, so you can use a small bit, then use a 3/8 and then a 1/2 inch bit, or if you have a stepper drill bit to make that hole, you can put it in there. But it simply just screws on, and then you can see the back here, how that looks like. Now those 2 prongs, those go to your power supply. Okay, so one you're going to connect, doesn't matter which prong you connect to, but that one wire is going to go all the way down the frame and all the way to the pump wire, not the ground, the power wire to the pump. The next wire is going to go, once again, from that switch all the way down your frame, and it's going to go past the pump, and then it's going to hook into that inline fuse filter, inline fuse holder, excuse me, and the inline fuse holder is going to go to the positive side of your battery. So coming from your battery, you will have a fuse holder, okay, and then that wire is now protected from that fuse holder all the way up to the switch on one side and all the way back down to the pump power side. And then the ground wire will go from the pump to your negative ground, or anywhere you want to bolt it to, except for the gas tank. It's important on that connection, unlike the switch, that you put it in the proper place. If you hook them up backwards, you know, I don't know if your little electric motor in there will run backwards, or if it won't run at all, or if it'll burn it up, but just make sure you connect it correctly. Now another thing is, if you notice where I put this pump is down as low as I can get it, because they're called gravity fed pumps. They're really designed to push pressure towards the carburetor, not suck them up from the tank. So it's a gravity fed pump. As long as you got it pretty much in line with the bottom of your tank, and you have it, you know, not kinked, it'll always self-prime. There'll be plenty of gas coming from the tank, just trickling down into it, and then it'll pull it from there. So it's pretty close to the tank, and then it goes from there where that little yellow tab is. After I cut that line, that'll go up to the carburetor. So once I get this all hooked up, I'll go through it one more time on the last video. I hope you enjoyed everything. Bye.